Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nicole. Okay, so hi everyone. Welcome to our today's session. Today, we will be diving into how Gen AI is transforming our daily lives. I'm Shereen Moussa, a strategy and transformation analyst at PepsiCo under the data analytics and AI team. And I'm really excited to share with you some real world applications and interactive activities that would showcase the power of Gen AI in your daily life. So going to the next, yeah. So here's a quick overview of what we will be covering today. We will start with the introduction of AI. Like you keep hearing about AI, Gen AI, data science, but how all of this is interlinked, followed by specific use cases in education, personal finance, daily life, and much more. And then we will wrap up with a discussion on like ethical considerations of AI, and then we'll finish it up with some practical tips and conclusion. So, what is AI? We keep hearing about it, but what it is really is. So, to start, AI, you can think about it, it's like literally the machine or a software that would perform tasks, and typically it would require a human intelligence. So AI is the umbrella term for machines performing tasks requiring the human intelligence. ML, though, is just a subset of this AI, where machines learn from data and improve over time. And then you have deep learning, which typically mimics how like the human brain process information using neural networks. And lastly, you will have data science, which technically data science is just the cross-disciplinary field that seeks, to extract the meaningful insights from the data that you would be providing. And then Gen AI is also under this umbrella, where it's basically machines that just doesn't only learn from the data, but they also can create content, art, essays, and designs, and all of this fun stuff. And I will give you an example of a Gen AI example. And looking at the timeline on your right, you will see it's very fascinating that actually AI wasn't a concept that's just recently been evolving, but it's actually started since 1950s, from tasks to advanced decision making that what we have right now, like ChatGPT. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an AI chatbot where you can ask questions about anything. Just for those who doesn't know, I'm sure like it's big thing right now, so everyone knows about it. But and it can also help you summarize content and so much more. And this just why I'm just giving this example is just to show you how many users it was able to attract in just really couple months. Just in matter of 2 months, ChatGPT was able to attract 100 million monthly users once it launched. So this can show you how explosive this growth in Gen AI has been going. Okay, so going to our first use case, this is in research. I'm 100% sure that you had to do a research paper at some point of your life, and probably you had all of those tabs open at some point. Is like I'm searching here and searching there and all of that. But then right now, Gen AI, there is a tool that can actually help you in drafting your research paper, in helping you doing a better research paper, and this is Consensus AI. Consensus AI is just, you can think about it as just your search engine for research paper. And I have also a video for you to go over what is Consensus AI.
Shereen, if you want us to hear something in the video, then maybe you need to reshare with computer sound.
Okay, let me see if.
So it's if in Teams, when you start sharing, there's a toggle button.
Okay, let me share again. All right, so I'll start it again.
This one's called consensus. Yeah. You ask a question. So let's just say, is intermittent fasting healthy, right?
Okay. Okay.
And what it does is it looks through 200 million research papers, finds the ones that reference it. It gives you a summary up top and it says, look, I looked at 20 papers.
Yeah.
70% of them said yes, 30% possibly, none said no. And it gives you like a summary across all the papers. You can filter it by if you want to only look in recent years or study types or study details or specific journals, you can imagine, right?
Yes.
And it just answers questions that we all have around, health related things through looking at 200 million research papers that they have.
Incredible. And so this is going to get better and better. Somewhere inside of these 200 million papers are the answers to a lot of life's questions and what study should be done next.
Yeah. So as you see, it's a pretty powerful tool, and I would recommend at least you can try it and use it and see how it's working for you. So coming next to our next use case is coding. 100% sure some of you maybe as a software developers or tried coding at some point of your life. So I came to realize that according to a Cambridge study, actually, the developers would spend at least 50% of their development time just fixing bugs or making code work. And this is like a lot of time from the software engineer in general. So therefore, there is this tool I came across as well. It's called Cursor. And the beauty about Cursor is that you technically can write in your natural language and it would basically edit the code for you. So you can say like, can you please debug this line of code? And it would do it for you. And according to a study was done by Nielsen Normal Group, they found that productivity has increased by 126% for programmers who were using AI. And this is like a huge number for me, honestly. Yeah. So that's our second use case. The third use case, I would say it's regarding finance. So I'm 100% sure, let's face it, I mean, anything regarding budgeting, anything about money, it just make us stressed in life. And actually along those lines, according to a study that was done by the American Psychology, they found that 63% of Americans has money as their significant stress, source of stress, which is crazy. And point of that is more focused on millennials, I would say, and Gen Z. So if you see from that chart, you will see a huge percentage of millennials and Gen Z said that finance is a huge source for them for stress. So given that, there's also a really pretty nice tool. It's called Clio. And pretty much Clio is also a Gen AI app, which is pretty much can help you in terms of budgeting, saving money, building credit. Clio has already helped like 6 million people to avoid their overdraft, build credit, and budget better. And the twist about it also, it actually can be very funny. Like if you say like, please roast me, it will say like, for example, oh, 2020 actually made it harder to spend money, but at that point he didn't stop. So it can be very funny, it can be very engaging, even when you are talking to it. And yeah, and moving on to our last case study. So here, like for me, it's like who doesn't want like a personal assistant in their life, right? Like everyone wants like at some point like someone to help them like in their like for example personal decisions or assisting them on a personal level. And there's this tool, it's called the Pi.ai, and it's technically, you can think about it, it's like your friendly digital companion. And it goes beyond just like setting reminders or like just offering emotional support. It's like literally having a real conversation with a human being. Like they literally have like human like voices, kind of scary, but it's pretty cool. Like so when you have like for example want to talk to someone, but then a human is not available, you can just go to pi.ai and just ask your question and it will start talking to you. So, and it's the good thing, it's also free, so you can always try it. And these were some of the codes that some users already said, like I tried using Pi personal AI to be less lonely working from home. So it's like this digital assistant that you would have in your day-to-day life. So I know we talked about like different tools about Gen AI and how it can really help you in your day-to-day life. However, I will have to say is like you need to also make sure that with all of this incredible tools, there is like some ethical consideration that you'll have to keep in mind, right? So those consideration is data privacy, bias, hallucination. So for data privacy, AI systems need to handle personal data, I would say, more responsibly. So when you feed your data, just make sure that you're feeding it to an AI chatbot. So make sure, like, what are you trying to feed? Also, they can have some biases. So they, like, at the end of the day, AI is whatever they have the data that they've been trained on. So if the data is biased, it will be also biased. So just make a note of that. Also, there can be some hallucinations, you know, so it can generate some false or misleading information while you are talking to it, and it can be very convincing too. So just need to make sure while you're using it to make note of those ethical consideration in mind. Therefore, I'm going to share with you some tips on how to handle those problems. So one thing is just make sure to be mindful of whatever data you're sharing to those AI systems, especially when it comes to personal information, right? Because they can be training on your data. And that's why coming to the second point is like you need to make sure to read those terms of service and privacy policies, understand like where are they going to be using your data in, right? Also, when they give you some data, make sure to ask about the sources, right? Like sometimes I know like maybe use ChatGPT once, but then when I ask a question, I say is like, can you please retrieve the references or the sources for whatever you mentioned? And sometimes, for example, the link is not working. So that would show you that is those sources are really reliable or not, right? So just make sure that to also cross verify this with other websites. Always also be aware that AI may reflect some biases from its training data. And that's what we covered in the last slide. So just make sure that it can also reflect some biases. All right, so I know we've covered a lot today. About different AI tools like Consensus, like Cursor, like Clio, like Pi.ai, and how they can be embedded in our, I would say, day-to-day life, right? But now I know we couldn't possibly cover all the AI tools available out in the market, I would say, but I have like just a gift for you today. And there's like this resource. It's called Futurepedia. So you can look it up right now. So Futurepedia is basically it's your Wikipedia of AI tools. So whatever industry you're in, you can literally go on this website and it will retrieve you some cool AI tools based on whatever you're looking for. And so they have like categories and different domains across those AI tools. So I encourage you just go explore Futurepedia and find more about the different tools out there in the market. Maybe the tools I presented today, maybe you think like I'm not going to be using those, but there can be other AI tools out on the market that actually can help you in terms of personal or professional life. So before we wrap up, I want to challenge you to just try at least one of the tools. Now you have so many tools to know, and just try at least one tool we have discussed today, or maybe one that you would pick from Futurepedia, and see how do you like it, and just try it out, you know. So yeah, and that's it. I think I hope you enjoyed the session, and I'll move it now to Q&A.
Yeah, thank you very much. I never heard from Futurepedia, so that was a real gift, I can tell you. At the moment, we don't have any questions in the chat. So if you have some questions, dear attendees, please feel free, raise your hand. We can unmute you so you can ask your question directly, or use the chat if you prefer this option. While we are waiting for questions, maybe Shereen, we both can have have a talk. Yeah, because looking for the different options and checking out what you all need to consider. I think sometimes it's a little bit challenging because we have so many options right there. Do you have a tip or a recommendation? For example, if I look on Futurepedia, I have so many options. How should I
Right, yeah.
pick the first one? Because I'm overwhelmed, maybe.
I know, and it can be very overwhelming, I have to say that. But I think what, for example, helped me the most is like there's like so many AI tools out there, but like when you start using them, this is when you know. So somewhat like you can use one tool, but then, for example, you didn't like the UI, UX, or the experience that that they're using. So I would say it's always a good practice to try the tool first and then judge on it.
Okay, so maybe I think about a need, so a problem in my daily business or something that I say, oh my God, I want to see if I can get an improvement right there, and then I check the tool and I see, okay, maybe it solves my problem, or maybe it solves a problem I'm not aware of so far. So
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's really, I can show you it real quick too. So this is the website, you see. So they have like different by business functions, you know, by categories. Like let's say you're into AI image tools, right? So it's gonna give you so many tools that you can start utilizing. Um, so yeah, just try it out. I would say also sometimes I look at how many people has been using it. Um, and this would tell me, okay, oh, maybe I should try it, you know. So
do I see it here? How many people are using this? Is this I thought this bookmark sign is maybe for people who are interested
yeah,
in it, but
so
not the user amount of.
yeah, like sometimes they would have ratings like that, but for
Yeah.
example, this doesn't have a lot of ratings. Other than this is just like I would search the tool online and see like plus review, like Mishi review, like I see like what other people are talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It has so many domains.
Yeah, I like the idea that I can say, okay, I maybe have an idea which part is interesting for me, and then I check it out. Yeah, cool. So, Shereen, I think the people are all now looking on Futurepedia what they want to check out first. So we don't have any questions, not in the chat, and we don't have anybody with his hand raised up. So I think it's time for the call to action for the session
Yeah.
rating, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you so much for attending, and yeah, please put your feedback in. It's always helpful to hear your feedback.